hello and a special welcome to any apiarists that have decided to join us on the SataCrop site. I'm just going to run through a brief overview on how to add the location of your beehives to SataCrop, how to set up the permissions so that you can keep the location private if you'd like to, and just a little bit more information on how it all works. So if you don't yet have any credentials to log in with, you can email info@pct.ag with just a little bit of information about your organisation and some contact details so we can get in touch with you if we need to. Once you have an account created, you can come in here and log in. Now, just a note that once you log in, you have to actually select a season to see the mapped fields. You can zoom in a bit here and have a bit of a look around. You can see on the left we've got these fly to shortcuts here, so they can sort of take you to different regions. We have a colour code along here which shows the field type or the crop type for that particular field, and then you can just pan around on the map and have a look. On the right hand side here we have a GPS location function, so if you're on a tablet or a phone that's got a GPS, you can turn that on and it'll show your approximate location on the map. We have this distance measurement tool, so you can measure the distance from one point to another, or measure an area as well if you keep drawing out the polygon. That's just approximations. It's pretty handy though tool. Alright, now you'll see once you're logged in that this new little button appears, which is called Add a Point of Interest. So a point of interest is sort of the tool that we've built to allow you to add the position of your beehives onto the map, either privately or publicly, so that it will trigger alerts for both growers and apiarists when hives are within a 10-kilometre proximity of a cotton field. Now, we're going to add point of interest. Let's say we point it right here. Is the point of interest position correct? So if you're happy with it, you just click yes, otherwise click no, and you can just drag him around a bit more until you're sort of happy with where you're meant to put it. Click it again, and go yes, proceed to save. And that brings you to this staging area where you get to add information about that point. So select the POI type, apiary. That's the only one we have at the moment. Now this is an important step here. This is in regards to permissions. Who can see the location of this point? Now by default it's just you and any linked users, but if you leave the linked users empty, it's just you that knows the position of that apiary. Now you can optionally add it so that others can see the exact location if you would like. So growers, logged in growers that have an account, if you want them to see the exact location, non-growers, which is other apiarists or whoever has permission to add points of interest, or the general public, which is anyone who comes to the SataCrop website, whether they're logged in or not. But if you keep all those unchecked, then no one else will know the location, and the only time that location would be used is when trying to trigger an alert if that's necessary. Now your next step is to figure out an expiry date, so that's the point that the location is not valid anymore. We allow up to 12 weeks maximum. Now you can always come in here at close to the expiry date and extend it. The calendar will then allow you to, add another 12 weeks on. But the reason we allow that we don't allow you to go any further than that is we don't want to have stale points of interest in our system causing alerts that aren't current. So that's the reason why. So we'll just set that on the maximum there for the minute. Public note. Now public note's only applicable if the point is able to be seen by others than yourself. If they were to click on the point of interest, this is the extra little bit of information they would see. We'll just leave that blank for the minute. Private note, that's just another little bit of space for you to keep some private notes in regard to that point. Linked emails, you probably won't use this, but let's say that there were 2 SataCrop users that wanted to have access to modify or view that point, then you could link this point to a second or third user just by putting their email address in there if they are a registered SataCrop user. All right, so we think we've got all that information in there correctly. We'll click Save Changes. All right, and we can see on here the location of this beehive. You can see that we're logged in here. If we were to log out, you can see that that point's gone because we didn't make the point public. We only made it visible to the person that added it. And we'll log back in. Okay. Now, if you want to modify any information on this point of interest, you can click on it and go. Actually, just while we're here, for any of the points of interest that you've added to SataCrop, you can click on them once you're logged in, and it will tell you the permissions that you've set: public view, grower view, non-grower view, and the expiry date that is set. Now, if you want to modify any of this, you click on the modify button, and where it takes us back to the screen that we were at before. So we can change that expiry date, say change it so that the general public can see that point, and we'll put a public note in here that says something like hello there. You could put anything that's useful in there. Now we'll save that. Click it again, see that we've updated our public note. You can see that we've updated our permissions, and we'll log out. And so this is what the general public would see if they go to satacrop.com.au. There's a marker there, and they can click it, and there's the public note and none of the other information. But because we probably want to keep that location private, we probably don't want other people to know where it is. So we'll turn it back to private, and it will stay private, and the only time the position will be used if it's going to trigger an alert. Okay, now we're logged back in. We can modify this point of interest, uncheck general public, save the changes, and now that point of interest is only visible to us and only used to trigger alerts. If you have any questions, please get in touch with PCT Ag Cloud or Cotton Australia. We'll be more than happy to answer them.